Hello, everyone. My name is Linda O'Nillafor. I am the author of a children's book titled My Brother Adam, A Journey with Schizophrenia, and welcome to my channel, Mental Health and Wellness. Okay, well, as you can tell from the title, I wanted to know if you stereotype homeless people. So I'm going to be asking you 3 questions. And if you say yes to all of these questions, that means that you do stereotype homeless people. Do you believe that most homeless people are drug addicts or alcoholics? Number 2, do you believe that most homeless people are just lazy and don't want to work? And number 3, do you believe that most homeless people have a record, committed some type of crime or violent crime? Well, if you said yes to all of those questions, then you do stereotype homeless people. Okay, so I wanted to do this video because a lot of times homeless people are misunderstood. So you might be saying, well, what causes a person to be homeless? There's a lot of things that cause a person to be homeless. The first thing is unemployment. The second reason is lack of affordable housing. The third reason is poverty. The fourth reason is substance abuse. The fifth reason is mental illness. The sixth reason is domestic abuse on women and children. Now, there's a lot more. The list goes on and on. So I just named some of them. Now, Los Angeles, California, they have the highest homeless population. They have about 65,000 homeless people. In New York, they have about 61,000 homeless people. So when you think about it, that's 65,000 stories, because everybody's story is different. And in New York, that's 61,000 stories. So when you think about that, I mean, that's a lot of stories. Now, I used to volunteer at the homeless shelter, and I remember it was the homeless shelter for women and children, and a lot of the women there were abused by their husbands or by their boyfriends or partners, and a lot of them actually got put out of their own home. And I remember, a lot of the women, telling me their story. And it was just so hard to believe, how much domestic violence goes on, especially when you don't talk to people, that experience that. So when you do talk to people that experience it, it's very, very hard to believe. Some of their stories were just so hard to believe. Okay, so, when we see homeless people, like here in Milwaukee, when I see a homeless person holding a sign, a lot of times they're immediately judged because most people, when they see people standing up at the stoplight, stop sign, or just on the street corner holding a sign, the first thing you think of is, what happened? What made that person homeless? And a lot of times people that stereotype the homeless people, they automatically assume it's either drugs, it's either alcohol, or laziness. Now, that's what a person that stereotypes, those are the only 3 categories that they put them in. But there is another side to homelessness. Now, another thing that can cause homelessness is if there's like a natural disaster and a person doesn't have insurance. That can cause homelessness. A fire and a person doesn't have insurance. That can cause homelessness. So I think a lot of times people forget about those types of things and they just put everybody in the same category. So we shouldn't stereotype homeless people because everybody can become homeless. And homelessness does not discriminate. You know, anyone can become homeless. So a lot of times we don't think that, people that have like a PhD or a master's degree, we don't really think about them getting laid off or them becoming homeless. We think that, oh, they're educated, they can find another job. Well, a lot of times they try to find another job. And a lot of times society will tell them when they go to different companies, they will tell them you're overqualified. Even if they want to work at a low paying job, they will tell them you're overqualified. So a lot of times that's what happens. So a lot of professional people have found themselves homeless. Okay, so I'm going to show you some pictures of some homeless people. And when you view these pictures, I want you to view them with an open mind, because it could be me, it could be you. They just got in an unfortunate situation. And everybody has been in an unfortunate situation before. It might not be homelessness, but it could be something else in your life that happened where you just had a unfortunate experience or unfortunate situation. Okay, so I just want you to watch these pictures. And then at the end of the video, I want you to give me your feedback. Okay, now that you watch these pictures, I want you to give me your feedback on what do you think about homeless people. I was watching this one gentleman, and I was listening to his story, and he was talking about how when he sits down, on the curb, how people look down at him. And he said that he can just see it in their face, where they don't even have to say anything, but he can see it on their face, how they look at him, as if he's nothing. And this young man said that, he would love to find a job. He would love to work. But right now, he's homeless. So after viewing those pictures that I just showed you, do you still stereotype the homeless? And, I want you to give me some feedback of what do you really feel about the homeless people? When you see them sitting down on the curb, do you kind of turn up your face, turn up your nose, do you kind of like, So I want you to let me know how you really feel about the homeless. I want you to give me some feedback. Leave it in the comments. How do you really feel about the homeless? Do you stereotype the homeless? Or are you open to the fact that everyone could be homeless? You know, the homelessness doesn't discriminate. Anyone could be homeless. So I want to hear your honest opinion about how you feel about the homeless people, especially after seeing the pictures that I just showed you. Now, in some of those pictures, some of the people were smiling. They didn't even look like they were homeless. And that's what I mean by stereotyping. You know, we think that all homeless people are on the corner, drinking alcohol, clothes all tore up, smelling. You know, that's what we think about homeless people. But as you can see in the video, there were some happy homeless people. They were actually smiling. Yeah. And I don't think that they were smiling for the camera. I think they were just smiling because they probably had a positive attitude about their situation, and they probably knew that this isn't going to last long. Okay. So if you enjoyed my video, I would love for you to like and subscribe and leave me some feedback about how you really feel about the homeless. Okay. Thank you. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.